The Middle East is one of the most important regions in the history of humanity. It is often called the birthplace of civilization, a land where the earliest human societies began to organize, build cities, and create systems that would shape the world for thousands of years. Long before modern nations existed, this region was home to powerful cultures, groundbreaking inventions, and some of the greatest empires the world has ever seen. Our journey begins over 5,000 years ago in a region known as Mesopotamia. Located between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, this land was uniquely suited for early agriculture. The rivers provided water, fertile soil, and the ability to sustain large populations. Over time, small farming communities grew into the world's first cities. The people of this region, known as the Sumerians, were among the first to create a complex society. They built cities such as Uruk and Ur, complete with temples, markets, and organized governments. For the first time in history, humans lived in large, structured communities with defined roles and responsibilities. One of the most important developments of this era was the invention of writing. The Sumerians created cuneiform, a system of writing that used symbols pressed into clay tablets. This allowed them to record information, manage trade, and preserve stories and laws. Writing transformed human civilization, making it possible to pass knowledge across generations. As these early cities grew, competition for resources and power increased. This led to the rise of the Akkadian Empire, one of the first empires in human history. For the first time, multiple cities and regions were united under a single ruler, creating a centralized government that controlled vast territories. Following the Akkadians, the Babylonian Empire rose to power. One of its most famous rulers, Hammurabi, introduced a set of laws that became known as the Code of Hammurabi. These laws established rules for society and introduced the idea that justice should be applied consistently. This concept would influence legal systems for thousands of years. Power in the region continued to shift as new empires emerged. The Assyrian Empire became one of the most powerful and feared forces in the ancient world. Known for their military strength, the Assyrians expanded their empire through conquest, creating a vast network of territories under their control. After the Assyrians, the Achaemenid Empire rose to prominence. Founded by Cyrus the Great, this empire became one of the largest in history, stretching across 3 continents. The Persians introduced advanced systems of administration, allowing them to govern a diverse population effectively. They built roads, established communication networks, and promoted tolerance among different cultures and religions. In 330 BCE, the region faced a new conqueror. Alexander the Great led his armies into the Middle East and defeated the Persian Empire. His conquests spread Greek culture throughout the region, blending it with local traditions. This period, known as the Hellenistic era, created a fusion of cultures that influenced art, science, and philosophy. After Alexander's death, his empire fragmented, and control of the region eventually passed to the Roman Empire. Under Roman rule, the Middle East became a major center of trade and cultural exchange. Roads connected cities across vast distances, and goods flowed between Europe, Asia, and Africa. During this time, the Middle East also became the birthplace of major religions. Judaism had already taken root in the region, and Christianity began to spread during the Roman period. These religions would go on to influence billions of people around the world, making the Middle East a central location in global religious history. In the 7th century, a new and transformative force emerged. In the city of Mecca, Prophet Muhammad began preaching a message that would unify the region under a new faith. Islam spread rapidly, bringing together tribes and regions under a shared belief system. The Rashidun Caliphate expanded quickly, followed by the Umayyad Caliphate, which extended its influence from Spain to Central Asia. This was one of the fastest expansions in history. The Abbasid Caliphate marked a golden age of knowledge and culture. During this time, scholars made significant advances in science, medicine, mathematics, and philosophy. The city of Baghdad became one of the greatest centers of learning in the world. Knowledge from ancient civilizations was preserved and expanded, influencing future generations across the globe. However, this period of prosperity faced challenges. In 1095, the Crusades began, bringing centuries of conflict between European and Middle Eastern powers. These wars caused widespread destruction and instability in the region. Soon after, the Mongols, led by Genghis Khan, invaded the Middle East. In 1258, they destroyed Baghdad, marking the end of the Abbasid Caliphate and a major turning point in history. In the centuries that followed, a new empire rose to dominate the region. The Ottoman Empire expanded rapidly, capturing Constantinople in 1453 and establishing itself as a major world power. For over 600 years, the Ottomans controlled much of the Middle East, maintaining stability and overseeing a diverse population. However, over time, the Ottoman Empire began to decline. By the early 20th century, it was weakened by internal problems and external pressures. During World War I, the empire sided with the losing powers and ultimately collapsed. After the war, European nations, particularly United Kingdom and France, divided the region into new territories. These borders were often drawn without considering the cultural and ethnic realities of the people living there, leading to long-term tensions. In 1948, the creation of Israel marked another major turning point. This event led to ongoing conflicts with neighboring countries and has remained one of the most significant issues in the region. Throughout the 20th and 21st centuries, the Middle East has experienced wars, revolutions, and political struggles. At the same time, the discovery of oil transformed the region into a center of global economic importance. Countries in the Middle East became key players in the world economy, attracting international attention and influence. Today, the Middle East remains a region of deep complexity. Its history is filled with moments of incredible achievement as well as periods of conflict and change. From the first cities of Mesopotamia to the modern nations of today, the Middle East has played a central role in shaping human civilization. Its influence can be seen in our systems of law, our religions, our cultures, and our daily lives. The story of the Middle East is not just a regional history, it's a global story, one that continues to evolve and shape the future.